Welcome to your monthly preview of the rune readings that I put on Substack. This is a preview which I will give you the main rune, the main dominant energy of the month. And in the Substack article, I post 5 runes. You have the center one, which is this one, Isa, and around it are 4 others, which individually are going to exercise an influence on Isa, and Isa will exercise an influence on those runes individually in return. Now, the rune Isa tends to have a bad reputation, which is not completely unwarranted, because it certainly can mean bad things in a reading. Now, in this reading, it is surrounded by runes that are overwhelmingly positive, which heavily mitigates the negativity that can come from this rune. It's not always bad, but it can be. It's often used in curses or baneful magic, if you will. If I look a bit more unkept than usual, it's because I've been in the garden the whole day, and that's where that comes from. In any case, like I said, the runes surrounding it, all 4, are overwhelmingly positive. And the only 2 invertible runes in this reading are in their upright position, which in itself is a very positive sign. There are 0 inverted runes in this reading. 3 that are, they cannot really be inverted. And then 2 that can be, but are not inverted. So they're in their upright position. That's quite significant, because the runes that cannot be inverted there are not that many of them. And to have 3 in one reading, well, that strikes me as a significant reading. But as those runes tend to be more of a stronger portal into the psyche of mankind, of the human, it will, the effect it will have on different people can vastly differ. This is the case for this rune. So it's a bit ambiguous. Most of the runes that were surrounding this one are from the first et, from the first family, which points to growth, personal growth. And there was a Soilo rune in this reading that was, you have all these runes that are from the first et, pointing to growth, personal growth, underscored by the sun. Oh, this is a very beautiful thing to see in a reading, even though the first one is ice. That extreme, concentrated form of ice, extreme individuation. So you might feel a deep need to tend to yourself, to self-isolate even. And self-isolate as in, like, you tend to yourself, you only want to be surrounded by the things that you hold dear. There may be an element of selfishness involved, because the rune is surrounded by runes that are of such a positive nature, I do not think that for most of the people here it will stem from anything pathological. We do need time for ourselves, and we do need to tend to ourselves. We cannot constantly be looking out for or caring for other people without neglecting ourselves. I understand sometimes we have a lot of things on our plates, and there are people who are of such a selfless nature that they are always putting themselves last. And I know some of you are like that. But in the long run of this will always wear you down. Always. There's no way around it. There has to come a point that you will have to put yourself first, or the effects this will have on your health, you will feel those, and it's not going to be a pleasant experience. Now, also, if you are that kind of person, you have to ask yourself, like, is it the cost-benefit analysis? Who is it really serving? Always putting yourself last. Does it serve you? Does it serve the other people? Because when you are doing worse, Right? If you are feeling negative effects on your health, does it benefit the people that you are trying to help or that you're trying to nurture? Probably not. They need you at your best too if you want to be the most effective at helping them. So yes, absolutely, you do need to take time for yourself, bit of self-care, as they to call it in the lingo of the influencer. It's possible that you won't really be wanting to interact with the outside world very much during this time. And if you do, you might even be doing that in a matter of factly way, which may come across as pretty cold and aloof. But it's not cold for the sake of coldness. This is more a self-preservation. This is not to be confused with being an outright ass or a bitch to somebody, because that's something else entirely. Now, if you are the kind of person that already feels quite isolated, without you really wanting to feel that way, well, sometimes this expresses itself in ways that are very unhealthy, like FOMO, fear of missing out. Now, some people can never be alone. They can't. They find that very difficult and disturbing, and it causes them anxiety. This can express themselves in excess partying, spreading yourself way too thin, indulgences of a carnal nature, all that. Now, if you are one of those people, then this rune suggests to you to maybe conserve your energy a bit more wisely, be more energy efficient. So yes, it can absolutely have very different implications for different personality types. That's the nature of the rune. What is selfishness for one person is not the same as selfishness for somebody else. For some people, being selfish might mean like, I am just going to do whatever the hell I want. I'm going to see whoever the hell I want, and I'm going to spread my wings and become a social butterfly. Might be. For other people, selfishness may mean I'm just going to completely withdraw inside my house, in my little cave, in my garden, and I'm going to think of nothing and no one else for the time being. Well, whatever it is for you, it does signal a sort of it does signal a time for personal growth, a lot of self-reflection. Like the now moment, living in the now moment is going to become a prominent thing this month. And yeah, if you want to, there are only positive runes in this reading. So if you want to read the full reading, it is on my Substack. And I feel almost sorry that I cannot tell you more, because the reading gave me a very good feeling, and I'm very happy to have finally gotten a reading that was of such an overwhelmingly positive nature, because I'm anxious to share it. But it wouldn't be fair to my paying subscribers if I gave it all for free. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you very much for my paying subscribers on Substack. And I will see you at the next one.